Jeff Woody, the head coach of the Brookville Bees. Bees have not been beaten in quite some time, and 20-plus in the books for Brookville on the left side. I talked to Coach Woody last night at the junior varsity game with the Bees and the Heritage Pioneers. Coach Woody, though, focusing on Friday Night Lights as he talks about his team, what's going right, what worries him about Heritage, and more. It's Jeff Woody on the Sports Buffet podcast. Sports Buffet's kind of been on and off lately, but we got to get on for this one. Heritage and Brookville at City Stadium tomorrow night. Jeff Woody, the head coach of the undefeated Brookville Bees, joins me. Some would say it's a big game tomorrow night. What do you say?
It's a big game. Hopefully it's the biggest game in the state of Virginia, and a lot of people will show up. And hopefully we'll see a good, hard-fought football game between two really good football teams. And, it definitely causes nerves. I've had them all week. But that's why you coach. That's why you play. That's why you're involved for games like this, and we can't wait.
Is this the biggest game you guys have had in quite a while? Just because, Jefferson Forest is a big game, obviously, because they're a rival. But Heritage is kind of like a city rival in a way.
Yeah, they're only 2 miles down the road. And, it's more of a respectful rivalry. And you want all the rivalries to be that way. Jefferson Forest has been that way, too, here in the last couple of years. But there was some lightning. But to be honest with you, you don't hear a lot of trash talking going on between the two teams prior to the game. As a matter of fact, you hear our kids talking about how good they look on film. And, we respect them. And hopefully the way we can respect Heritage tomorrow is by giving them our best effort, giving them 100%. And, I look forward to coaching or watching from a coach's standpoint. A good football game, a rivalry, if you will, that should be a lot bigger than it is. The last time we played against these guys, and it was a really big football game, I think it was in 2007. They were undefeated, and we were 6-3 at the time, and we ended up beating Chris Jones over there 28-21, kind of a last-second type situation. But it was a pretty good football game, and since then, the games have been tight, but never have we once faced each other where it's been undefeated.
I was going to say, normally it's not a butt kicking either way. It's like you said, it's been some tight games. This will be the first time you've coached against Coach Bradley in a regular season game, to my knowledge. How do you prepare for not only a Heritage but a Brad Bradley team?
Well, you watch Brad Bradley's teams on film, and they're well disciplined. Down to how they line up, how they look in their stances, and you can tell he's a good coach because he's got good schemes devised on both sides of the ball. They're running good, crisp routes. Quarterback knows what to read, knows who to give the ball to, and at the same time, the quarterback is elusive. He can make some plays with his feet, and they devise a game plan based around their quarterback's athletic ability. And that's what you expect when you see Brad Bradley out there on the field.
Parrish, one of the best ones you've seen this year at the quarterback?
Of course, he's the best we've seen this year quarterback.
How do you simulate that in the scout this week?
Well, you take Jamar Lovelace, assistant coach, who's a young, fresh, athletic individual. I used to play that role, and never once was I overly athletic. Right. They would pummel me in practice, even when I did consider myself having some speed. But you put that guy back there at quarterback all week, and he played quarterback for me way back in the day, and you let him rip and run in there, and he was able to talk some trash and do some damage in there in practice on Tuesday, and Wednesday the defense tightened up, and today they look really good. But although you can do that in practice to help simulate what a Parrish can do, you can never really simulate a Parrish. They're only going to be recognized. They're only going to see Parrish once, and that's Friday night. And it's going to be a tough task to stop him.
We talked about it, but one thing I think that is a weapon that maybe a lot of people don't realize with you is a guy by the name of Mr. Gutierrez. How big does he need to be Friday night?
Well, it's going to be big if we can get the ball in the end zone, because you get a touchdown and you turn around and you kick the ball off, and he's been able to kick the ball in the end zone a lot for us. I think out of 51 kickoff attempts this year, he's got 42 touchbacks, and it's tough for any football team to drive 80 yards every time you get the ball back. And I know I wouldn't want to drive the football 80 yards down the field against the Heritage, if you will.
But I was referring more to the fact that he can get 3 too.
Oh yeah, and granted, a lot of things have to go right in order to make a field goal. You got to have a good snap, you got to have a good hold, you got to protect, and then the kicker's got to make good contact with the ball. But he's got ice in his veins. He won a game for us when he was a freshman in the regional finals. He won a game last year in the state finals for us with 30 seconds left, kicking a field goal against James Monroe. And right now, we feel like if we get to the 30-yard 50-yard line, we're going to give it a shot. And he's got a strong enough leg to get there. We just got to make sure all those phases I talked about earlier work out for us.
Do you see nerves on either side?
What do you mean, for him?
No, both teams. Do you see nerves on either side of the ball?
He's not going to be nervous. And the reason why he's...
Pointing to Brad Bradley, by the way.
The reason why he's not nervous is because he's prepared. And good football teams ante up and kick in when the going gets tough. And they step up to the occasion in a game like this. And, every team that he's ever coached has been that way. And I hope that our team can answer the call. We've been able to step up in the past. It's a brand new football team with brand new season. We've been tested a little bit this year. We were tested against Liberty, and we answered the call. And last week against Amherst, we ended up when we had to, and we kicked in. And but here's another situation. Game starts off and it's 0-0, and a lot of times when a game like this is going on, it's the team that can grab momentum first. And if Heritage is able to grab momentum first, I hope my kids can keep their composure. Stay hard working, stay fundamentally sound, communicate with each other, and keep their nose to the grindstone, and you have to kick in like men. But that's that's all going to be seen tomorrow at 7 o'clock when the ball's kicked off.
Low scoring shootout. Either one of these teams favored? And if it goes that way, if you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you want the shootout or do you want the low?
I want to win by at least 1 point.
That's exactly the same thing he said.
If it's 7-6, I'll take it. If it's 3-2, I'll take it. Who knows? Both teams have good defenses. I know it's going to be tough.
Underrated defenses, I would say.
Well, it's going to be tough for us to put points on the board. And watching the athlete he has at quarterback, I'm hoping that we can contain him. He's the best we've seen all year. We're definitely one of the best in the state of Virginia, and we got to make sure that our eyes are on him at all times, and we can't put too many eyes on him because he's got weapons that he can get the ball to, and those guys can make plays as well. So,
offense, defense, special teams, one in each gives you guys that 1 point victory.
Offensively, no negative plays. We can't fumble the ball, can't take big losses. Defensively, contain number 9. And special teams, let's go ahead and control field position with Gutierrez's leg.
Wish I could be there. It's going to be a good one.
Oh, bless your heart, man. Biggest game in the state of Virginia, Bob.
Good, best of luck. We'll talk to you afterwards.
Thank you, sir.